quick. Hello and welcome to the webinar today. It's May 25th, 2016, and we're doing a question and answer session for our students. All right, so welcome to all of our students that are here. Just as an introduction, this is me and my family. It was my birthday yesterday, so we had a fun time celebrating. And we're really, for those of you who are new to the program, I'm really excited to have you here. Just as a background for me, I am a speech-language pathologist, nationally certified, and we are, and I really specialize in this accent reduction training, and that's what we're here for. So really excited to be with you guys today and to answer your questions. That's what these webinars are all about. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Now the first question, before we get into the questions that were emailed, the first question was to Sunny. Was from Sunny, and Sunny was asking, do you have more information about how to connect with other students in your class? And we were working on that. Now, today I was just working with my programmer to identify exactly how to connect you guys, kind of students of Pronunciation Pro, so that you can connect with each other as you're going through the Pronunciation Pro course, be able to connect with other students from Pronunciation Pro so that you can practice, that you can ask and answer questions. And Sunny, if you have any other suggestions of what more you would like to do with that interaction with other students, and obviously it would be voluntary, anybody who is interested in connecting with other students. We won't force you if you're a student to connect with anybody if you don't want to. But if you have any other feedback for us of what else you'd like to see, definitely go ahead and send me an email about those, and we'll factor those in as we're kind of creating that format. So really, the format is more like a forum with different categories that we can give you an opportunity to connect with each other, ask questions based on your primary language, and so forth. So good question. All right, so let's go ahead and get into questions that were emailed. And again, as questions come up, I'll be watching the questions box, so go ahead and enter any questions you have there. Okay, so Toan, I see that your hand is raised. If you have a question, go ahead and write it in the box, and I'll go ahead and answer that for you. I'm not sure if you meant to raise the hand or not, but just we're going to use that questions box first, and then as I answer your question, I'll unmute you so that we have a chance to talk. Okay? All right. Okay, Ton. Oh, and actually, our first question is for you. Ton, okay, so let me unmute you right here. Ton, you there?
Yes.
Oh, hi.
Hi, Heteronym.
Glad to have you here. Okay, so you sent me a bunch of questions, and most of them are about that dark L sound. So what week of the program are you in right now? Ton?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What week of the program are you in? Are you in week 1? Are you a little bit further along?
Yeah, but I had to pronounce it. Was I don't know how to pronounce them exactly.
Okay. All right, so let's go through some of these words for you. And the common sound that is in all of these sounds is the dark L. Oh. Can you say that for me? Oh.
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 Yeah, so what happens is we have the light L and the dark L. The light L is when the tongue comes and touches the roof of your mouth and you say la, la, la. Can you say
La, la, la.
Yeah, so it kind of touches the back side of your front teeth and it just kind of releases after that. La, la, la.
La, la, la.
Yeah, so that's the light L, what we call the light L. The dark L is a little different. The dark L is more like a vowel sound because your tongue doesn't touch anywhere else in your mouth. What it does is it creates kind of a bowl in the bottom of your mouth, and it says oh. Ol. Yeah, exactly. Ol. Okay, so that's the sound we're going to be working with today. Now it's interesting because a lot of my students have a hard time producing that dark L sound. And so what I say is, okay, most native speakers are going to use that dark L in a lot of situations. But if it's too hard for you, go ahead and use a light L and do la and kind of pull that tongue to the roof of your mouth. Because really it doesn't, as far as how well you're understood, it really doesn't matter that much. But we are going to kind of practice that dark L just because I like to practice what a native speaker would say. But then you can decide, is this something that's too difficult for me and I just want to do the light L, or am I going to get this dark L? So let's go ahead and say this. So do this one for me. Whale.
Whale.
Okay, so right there, so your tongue is coming up and touching, which is fine. Let's practice. Let's see if we can drop that tongue down and do more of that ol. Whale.
Oh, whale.
Okay, whale.
Whale. Whale.
Okay, so then come up. Let's try just coming up and touching there. Whale.
Whale.
Okay, so then let's put it. Yeah, so you're kind of pulling that tongue up there. So let's put it in a sentence. And one thing that I wanted to point out is when in a sentence, when the dark L is at the end of a word and the next word has a vowel sound in it, it kind of just becomes a light L where you touch and move on. So the whale is, say that for me, the whale is.
The whale is.
Yeah, so whale is. Do that again.
The whale is.
Yeah, so that sounds really good because it just kind of moves into it very naturally. Okay, now the difference is when you move into a consonant. So if I said the whale was, do that for me. The whale was.
The whale was.
Yeah, there you go. So that was kind of a looser L, and then you moved in. So that was good. So do the whale is enormous. The
whale was enormous.
So I'm kind of doing the whale is enormous, and then the whale was enormous. That's kind of how I'm doing it here. So do the whale is enormous.
The whale is enormous.
And then the whale was enormous.
The whale was enormous.
The
whale was enormous.
And then do
the whale was enormous.
So you're adding a little extra syllable, so in enormous. So do enormous.
Enormous.
There you go. Good. Perfect. Okay, so you're getting that L. The whale sounds great. So let's do sail.
Sail.
Okay.
Sail.
Okay, raise the sail.
Raise the sail.
Yeah, there you go.
Sail.
Yeah, so that ending is sounding good. I like it. So now let's add raise the sail up.
Raise the sail up.
Yeah, so you're kind of then launching that L into the next word. Sail up.
Raise the sail up.
Yeah, so in connected speech.
Raise the sail up.
Yeah, so in connected speech, it kind of just flows into the next word. Yeah. Especially if that has a vowel in it. The next word is a vowel. Sail up. Okay, so everyone who's listening to this, I want you to kind of be practicing that too. Getting that L and kind of moving in. Okay, so these other ones are very similar. So tail.
Tail. The tail.
The dog's tail got stuck.
The dog's tail was stuck.
Okay, the dog's tail is stuck.
The dog's tail is stuck.
Tail is stuck. Good. So those L's are sounding good. Okay, nail. Do nail for me. Can you do that word? Nail. Toan, you there? Nail. Oh, I might have lost you. I'll keep you unmuted in case your sound comes back. All right, let's see. Oh, does anybody else want to try this while we're waiting for Tone to come back? So if you want to try it, go ahead and raise your hand if you've had any trouble with the dark L or even the light L, dark L, some of these. Okay? Jirban? Jirban?
Yes.
Tell me how you pronounce your name.
Gira.
Gira. Okay, Gira. All right. Nice to meet you.
Me too.
Glad to have you here. Okay, so the dark L here. So I want you to go through these. Whale.
Whale.
Okay. Do the whale is enormous.
The whale is enormous.
And connect that. The whale is.
Whale is.
Okay. Sail. Raise the sail.
Raise the sail.
Okay, good. So I can kind of hear your tongue coming up and touching, which is absolutely fine. So raise the sail up.
Raise the sail up.
Okay. And then tail.
Tail.
The dog's tail got stuck.
The dog's tail got stuck.
Good. So that's nice and clear to me. Okay, how about nail? Hammer the nail in the wood.
Hammer the nail in wood.
In the wood. Good.
Okay.
Good. Okay, then let's do tile. I broke the tile.
I broke the tile.
All right, good. Okay, how about goal? Who will make the goal today?
Who will make the goal today?
Good. So I'm going through these with you, and Toan, it sounds like your network might have gotten back, so I'll come back to you, okay?
Okay.
Gold. Who will make the gold today?
Who will make the goal today?
Okay, so this is an interesting one because goal and gold, we have to make sure are different because the only difference is gold has the D sound at the end and goal doesn't. Okay, so who will make the goal today and who will make the gold today? Gold today.
Okay. So I have to speak?
Oh yeah, so go ahead and do those two sentences for me.
Who will make the goal today? Who will make the gold today?
Good. And a lot of time the context will make that more clear, but make sure that gold gets that voiced D sound at the end. The gold. The gold.
Gold.
Good. Okay, and another student had emailed the word milk, and I'll be getting to the rest of his words, but I thought I'd throw it in here since it's the dark L. So milk.
Milk.
The milk sat on the table.
The milk sat on the table.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for volunteering. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, Toan, I'm going to come back to you and unmute you. Let's see. Toan, you there? Let's see if it works this time.
Yes.
Okay, there you
my
are.
network connection has been lost.
Okay, no problem. All right, let's go ahead and do this one for me. So we'll go through the list. Nail.
Nail.
Good. Tile.
Nail. Tile.
Yeah, so you're getting that nice. I like the L that you're making. It's going to be clear. It's going to be understandable. So I broke the tile.
I broke the tile. I broke the tile.
Good. Goal.
Goal.
Who will make the goal today?
Who will make the goal today?
Good. And then gold, we got to get that D at the end. Who will make the gold today?
Who will make the gold today?
Gold. Good. Just make sure that
Gold.
D gets in there. Yeah. And then milk. The milk sat on the table.
Milk. The milk sat on the table.
The table.
Milk sat on the table.
Good. Good. And I noticed even as we're working together, at first you weren't kind of saying the TH sound in the, but by the end you were getting your mouth in position for that. So in the second week of the program, you work on that TH sound and getting the into place. So
Yes, I am learning with to, but I am very hard to pronounce on a sentence. Yes, a long sentence. I think it will be very hard in my mouth. I think if I can pronounce it word, separate the word correctly, but I think in the sentence, when the TH sound is might be difficult to pronounce TH sound on in a sentence.
Yes. Yes. So you were getting better as we went along. You were getting your mouth in the right position and starting to get that TH sound in sentences. So just keep practicing those sentences with the TH, and your mouth will get more and more comfortable getting that, TH into position. Okay?
Okay, thank you for all
All
that.
right. Great. Thank you, Ton. All right. Let's see if there's any. All right. Let me just make sure. Let me just check on some of the questions, make sure it's not the dark L. Oh, so Raquel is asking, what's the difference between the dark L and the long O? So I'm going to do first the dark L, and then the long O. Okay? O. So kind of has that with it's different than any of the other vowels that we have. The closest is going to be the sound, kind of that like an up and cup, but the kind of gets a little bit more rounded. So and you're kind of rounding your mouth around that tongue. Okay. O is less about the tongue as it is the shape of the mouth. O. Okay, good question. Okay, so let's see, Jirban. I'm sorry, I keep pronouncing your names with the American sounds, which is kind of the opposite that we're trying to correct with you, right? So Gira, let's see. I'm going to unmute you real quick. Gira, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, so you were talking about the words such as girl and world. Okay, so this kind of goes with that dark L. So I want you to try those. So do girl for me.
Girl.
So what we want to do is a lot of times when I'm teaching this, I have you split it up. So g, ol. So it has the g and then er, and then the dark L, ol. G, ol. Can you do that for me?
G, ol.
So that it's that and then the ol that kind of, it's hard to move from that where your tongue is back like that to the ol where the tongue drops down. Earl. So that takes a little bit of time, but you got to get that Earl. There you go. Good. Do it again. Earl. Earl. Yeah. Yeah, you're getting it though. So when you kind of practice those two sounds, Earl, and you'll be able to get, and then add G at the end. Girl. Yeah. Good. So world is the same thing. Earled, but you add a D at the end. Earled. So do Earl. Do whirl. And then put a D at the end. Whirled.
It's very hard.
Yeah. So that's how I really like you to do it, is break it apart and practice the different pieces on its own and then start to pull them together, because that's when you'll be able to get that coordination of your tongue. Because your tongue's like, I don't really know what to do. But when you break it down really, really small like that, and then slowly add it together, then your tongue is like, oh, okay, I can get this movement. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. I will practice at home.
Okay, good. Perfect. Thank you. That's a good question. Okay, so we're going to move on to from the dark L, unless anybody else has any questions about that. Okay, we'll go ahead. So Rania, let me see. Rania, you are here. Okay, Rania, hello.
Hi, Annie, how are you?
Great, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. Okay, so you had a list of words, and I actually, some of the words I didn't include here, but I'll come back to at the end as we're able. But let's go through some of these. So you had questions about kind of the heteronym words, words that have the same spelling, but different stress depending on, or different pronunciation depending on whether it's a noun, verb, adjective, all of that, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's go through some of those examples that you gave. So produced is the verb. So produced, say that for me.
Yes. Produced. Produced.
Good. So then produce is going to be the noun form of it. Produce.
Produce.
Yeah, so this one's going to do like pro, like I'm in a pronunciation pro. I'm a pro at it, right? Produce.
Produce.
So that's produce. Produce, like vegetables and fruit and all this, food is produce. All right. Okay, so produce is going to be second syllable, produce first syllable. Okay, so here is the next example, and stop me if you're thinking, okay, well that doesn't exactly answer the question I had. Okay.
Yes.
But okay, so blessed. There's kind of blessed and blessed, and they're kind of both adjectives. So, well, I blessed the baby is going to be a verb, right? Blessed the baby, or he is very blessed. Okay. The other way I've heard it pronounced is blessed. Okay. So in the adjective form, it can be either blessed or blessed. Both are correct.
Blessed, yeah.
Okay, so say those two for me. Blessed, blessed.
Blessed, blessed.
Good. The more common is blessed.
Blessed.
Yeah. Okay.
The second one? Okay.
The first one, blessed, blessed. Blessed is less common. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Sewer and sower. Okay, so these are both nouns. So a sewer, so they're just going to be talking about different things. A sewer is like underneath the streets where the sewage goes, where all the water and everything goes. Sewer. So say that for me.
Sewer.
Sewer. So it has that ooh, sewer.
Sewer.
And then if you're a seamstress and you sew a lot, you're going to be called a sewer.
Sewer.
Yeah, and the difference there is the vowel. Yeah, so it's either the oo or the o vowel. So sewer.
There's a difference in the meaning?
And there's difference in the meaning, yes.
Okay.
So like this one, the first one is going to be the sewage, the water underneath the streets, kind of the plumbing, right? Sewer.
Yes.
So the sewer system, the sewers are under the street. Or sewer is, I need to find a good sewer to sew my dress.
Sewer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Sewer. and sour.
Yeah, so it's just two different meanings of a word. So they're both nouns, but they're just two different things. And they're both spelled. The problem is they're both spelled the same. So it's kind of contextual. It's, you know, if you're talking about plumbing and you're talking about things like that, it's going to be a sewer. But if you're talking about sewing a dress or something, it's going to be a sewer.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so this one's either wound or wound. So let's see. Wound, wound. I got these two mixed up. So this is actually wound. It should be the verb. So I apologize for this. I'm going to confuse you guys. So this first one is actually the verb. All right.
Verb. Okay.
So wound. I wound the clock. Wound has that ow,
Wow.
ow sound. I
Wow.
wound the clock. So say it for me.
Wound.
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 Yeah. Do it again one more time.
Wound.
Yes, perfect. Okay.
Wound.
Perfect. Yep. So then the other one, the noun version is going to be wound. Like I hurt myself and I have a big wound on my arm. Wound.
Wound.
Good. Wound.
Wound.
Yep, exactly.
Wound.
Mm-hmm. All right, good. Okay, so this one is wicked. The more common pronunciation is wicked. I have seen the same spelling for like a wicked candle. So if you're describing a candle and it has a wick on the top, sometimes they call it a wicked candle, and it's pronounced wicked. Okay? So if it's ever in context of a candle, it's going to be wicked. But more often you're going to see wicked as an adjective describing something.
Wicked.
Wicked. Which this is kind of an exception.
Wicked.
Yeah, wicked. Wicked. And it's not that so it has an ed ending, but it's not a past tense. Does that make sense? So when we're talking about past tense endings,
Yeah.
it doesn't fall under past tense. So that's why the confusion sometimes of like, why wouldn't it just be pronounced
Ruden and Ruden rule, it's CK. It will be, if it's past, it will be T instead of ED.
Yeah,
Correct?
exactly. So if it was a past tense, it would be that T ending because of the voiceless root ending. Good. I like it.
Okay.
You've been studying.
Yes.
All right, good. Okay, so the next one, similarly. So it was interesting when I was preparing this, I kept repeating it to kind of get the root and phonetics of it. And my tongue got really tied up while I was saying it because of that olerly, that, you know, when you say it over and over again, that olerly, your tongue does not, you know, want to say that, even for me. So similarly.
Similarly.
Good. Do it again.
Similarly.
Yeah, and so this one's a hard one to practice because the more you say it, the more it seems like your tongue gets confused. But similar, and then the li at the end.
Similarly.
Yeah, so if you say, we are very similar.
We are very similar.
Mm-hmm. And then just similarly, we just add that li at the end. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Particularly is going to have that invisible Y in there. Particularly. So go ahead and say that one for me.
Sure. Particularly.
Good. So it's that U in there that you're going to want to kind of practice. Particularly. Mm-hmm. Exactly. So that sometimes that invisible Y makes it, you're not sure exactly how to transition into that. So if you do that invisible Y, it'll help you move into it. Okay, antibiotic. And it was funny because when I was saying this, usually actually native speakers are going to say antibiotic. really fast, antibiotic, and not pronounce the T, like antibiotic or antibiotic. They'll probably say it pretty quick, antibiotic. But for you, I'm going to, for you and other non-native English speakers, I want you to really pronounce it. Because I think native speakers are just getting kind of lazy with it. So antibiotic.
Antibiotic.
There you go. Good. Very nice.
Antibiotic.
Okay.
But I hear this word without T. It's correct?
Without the T?
Antibiotic.
Yeah, antibiotic.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, like a lot of native speakers are going to drop the T and the I, and they're just going to say antibiotic. Antibiotic. Yeah, so I guess it's more just the T that gets dropped. And that becomes just a common reduction, what we call common reductions, is that when native speakers say a word a lot, and maybe the word is a little bit difficult to say, but we have to say it a lot, native speakers tend to reduce it and get kind of like internet is another example. Internet, the T doesn't get pronounced in that very much. Yeah. Internet, international is another example. International, yeah. Internet, antibiotic. Okay. All right, good question. So I might be coming back to you as we get to the other words that you had in your list. Okay. Thanks, Rania. Okay, so I'm gonna jump into some of the questions and just see if we, let's see, make sure that we're getting to your questions. So Maria, curtain. Okay, Maria, I'm gonna have you just do the curtain. Let's see. Oh, I don't see Maria. If you're there, go ahead and write in again. Sometimes the names don't show up. Okay, so Raquel's asking, in every word that can be a verb, noun, and adjective, is it a heteronym? No. Okay, so heteronym words, let me explain this. So heteronym words, and we go through this a lot in the word stress lesson in week 3, but heteronym words are words that are spelled the same but have different pronunciation depending on which type of speech it is. So what kind of a word it is. So if it's a verb, a noun, an adjective, things like that. This doesn't happen all the time, but there are some words. And in week 3, I have a big list of a whole bunch of examples of the most common words, most common heteronym words that you come across in English. So you can see, okay, here's the noun version, here's the verb. Typically what happens is the noun, if it's a 2-syllable word, the noun is going to be first syllable stress and the verb is going to be second syllable stress. So, for example, the word produce, the noun version is going to be produce. The verb is going to be produce. Okay, so noun, first syllable stress, verb, second syllable stress. Okay, and in week 3, we really go into detail about that. So that's good. Okay, let's see. Muhammad Dreza, let's see. Let me get your question. So you're asking about the TOEFL speaking section. How can I improve my speaking by myself? So you've gotten a 92 recently in the TOEFL and you want to elevate your speaking. Okay, so there's a lot to the TOEFL exam, and let me just kind of answer this kind of generally, and then we can kind of talk about this more in detail if you want to email me. But the TOEFL speaking exam, I do work with quite a few people who are trying to pass that TOEFL speaking section, because there are several parts to it. So we do have the 40, where you have to answer the question in 45 seconds and kind of keep the timeline there. There's a lot of structure to that, making sure you have a very clear opening sentence, a couple of examples with personal examples, and then a clear closing sentence. there's certain things that you can kind of structure your responses that the judges tend to like. So there's a number of strategies that you can use. There's kind of these carrier phrases or things that you can use that's helpful. I do have a TOEFL speaking quick course that allows you to go through the Pronunciation Pro course, but then gives you a couple of live lessons with me so that I can give you direction on how specifically to practice for the TOEFL speaking section and how to use Pronunciation Pro to help you really use that to get a better score with your TOEFL speaking section. Okay, so that TOEFL speaking, if you go to the pricing page, that TOEFL speaking quick course is something to take a look at. But if you have more specific questions, go ahead and email me and we can talk through it. All right, let me see if, let's see, by FOA, I don't see you here on the call right now. She had some words that we're having a hard time with. If there's anybody else that wants to try these words, go ahead and just raise your hand and we'll go through them together. I'm not sure if these are kind of something that are difficult. I'm going to go through them real quick. If anybody, again, wants to try it out. So Raquel, thank you. Raquel, are you there?
Yes.
All right, good. Let's go ahead and go through some of these. The first one was just a question about sun and sun, the two different ways of spelling that word, and they have the same pronunciation. So it's just sun.
Okay.
Okay.
Just sun?
Yeah, the sun. Good. This one, ma'am, you hear this actually a lot in the south of the United States, the southern part of the United States, where they call each other ma'am and sir. So ma'am is going to have that same vowel as can, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Good. And then various.
Various.
Yeah, exactly. Various. So it does have that long A in there. Various.
Various. Okay.
So this one's variety.
Variety.
Yeah, there you go. Variety. So it has that. So this kind of looks like an L, but it's a long I. Variety.
Variety.
Yeah, exactly. Now these other words have that thank is with the voiceless TH sound. So thank.
Think.
And then the other two, than and then.
Them.
Good. And this sentence doesn't have to do with it. I just was doing it quickly and forgot to erase it. But so those have the voice TH on it. Voice TH. Okay. Is what week of the program are you in, Raquel?
I'm week 6.
Oh, okay.
And my hard time is with TH.
Oh, okay.
and word stress too.
Word stress and TH. Okay. So how are you feeling like when you because some people they're very aware in their conversation that the TH is an issue, and so they're correcting themselves all the time. And some, it's like, I don't even pay attention to the TH while I'm speaking. What are you? Are you aware of it while you're speaking in conversation, or is it hard to be aware of that TH sound?
When I first speak the TH, it sounds like a T, and then I remember, oh no, it's not correct.
Okay.
And then I do it again the correct way.
Okay, good. Well, even just right there, you're talking right there, you're getting that TH in position, so it sounded really good. So good job. You're coming along, and just continue to be aware of it. It sounds like in conversation, you're kind of at the level where you can be using it in conversation, but you just have to have that added awareness of trying to get it in your in your speech while you're talking with someone.
Yeah, when I like training like here, it sounds okay, but when I speaking, I forgot to put the tongue in front, and then it sounds incorrect.
Yeah. And what I found with a lot of my students is the more consistent you are in practicing on your own. So say you grab something every morning, you're saying, I'm reading a book or I'm reading the news or something like that, is that as you read out loud, focusing on that TH sound and get that practice time every day, then when you go into the rest of your day and you're having conversations with people, it's going to be a lot easier to use it than if you didn't have that daily practice time. Okay, so even though you're like, okay, I just need to use this in conversation, you still have to do the daily reading. Okay, just read it. And it doesn't have to be like my worksheets or anything. It can be anything you want to read, but just make sure that you're reading out loud with that focus on your pronunciation and getting your mouth in position and everything like that. You're listening to yourself. And then that will really help to carry that over into conversation. Okay?
Okay.
All right, good. All right, good. Okay, so let's see. Are there any other, let me just check the time real quick. Yep, we're coming kind of close to the end, but let me just double check the questions, make sure we're getting everything. If anybody else has any other questions, go ahead and write those in. Let me see. All right, I think we're getting a lot of those questions. Okay, so another question, Muhammad Reza. How can we enhance the ability to summarize a story in English? Okay, so this kind of touches on something that I like my students to understand is, so there's English language skills and there's pronunciation skills. And so English language skills are things that you've been working on. You've been really working on English to make sure your grammar and your vocabulary and being able to say what you want to say in English. So that's kind of lumped into this English category. And then there's kind of pronunciation. And of course there's overlap because you obviously have to be aware of and pronouncing things relatively correctly if you're going to be working on the grammar and vocabulary and such. But pronunciation is where my expertise is, and that has a lot to do with the mouth and the muscles in your mouth and kind of how you're moving your mouth and how to train your mouth to kind of create these new habits so that you're nice and clear and crisp in what you're saying. So as far as the ability to summarize a story, this kind of falls into that English category where it has more to do with, okay, how am I hearing English? How am I organizing English? And how can I then reproduce the English? So it kind of falls into that English category, English language category, where I don't call myself an expert in that category. I'm more about the articulation and the flow. Once you kind of know what you want to say, how to say it very clearly. But if I were to just, with the experience I have with some of my students and things, the ability to summarize a story in English, it's kind of similar to when we talk about the rhythm of English and having to pull out the key words or the important details and stress those important words and details. So what you're wanting to do as you're listening to someone tell a story, they're going to be telling you, if their rhythm is good, they're going to be, by the way they stress words, they're going to be telling you what's important in the story. So really good storytellers, as they're giving their presentations, they're going to emphasize and slow down on words that are going to be the key, the main ideas. Okay, so that's something to listen for and think, okay, what are they stressing in their voice? Are they saying it longer, louder, and with more emphasis? And what words are they kind of pausing on, or what ideas are they pausing on? And those are kind of some of the important aspects of that story. Of course, you want to make sure that you're getting the key ideas of who is the character, what are they doing, how are they solving the problem, or what is the problem, how are they solving that problem, all of that. So the kind of who, what, where, when, why is kind of those questions. As you answer those questions, it develops the story. Okay, so as you're summarizing a story, and I'm sure you're talking about more to the TOEFL exam, because I know that you have to do that quite a bit in the TOEFL exam. As you're summarizing a story, you really want to identify the who, the what, the where, when, how, what's the problem, how did they solve it. Those tend to be kind of the big ideas. Okay, hopefully that helps. Again, not exactly my main expertise, but it is in that English category. Okay, so let me go ahead, and I'm just remembering, Sunny, yes, I did get your question. So let's move into make sure that I'm getting the right paper here. Let's see, copy page 1. Sorry, just really quick. Okay, so Sunny, you had some questions, and we'll kind of wrap up with questions from Sunny and from Rania, if you want to finish those. I know before Fawa didn't, I'm not seeing her here. So Sunny, let's go ahead into your questions, and then Rania, we can wrap up with yours. All right, Sunny, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for reminding me. I remembered that I got your email, and then I threw it onto this page so that we could go over it. Okay, so publicly and publicity, very similar looking words. So public is the root word. So publicly, say that for me. Publicly.
Publicly.
Do it nice and clear. Nice and loud, I mean. Publicly.
Publicly.
Got to get that K in there. Publicly.
Publicly.
Get that lick. Public.
Publicly.
So do this. Lick.
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 Lickly.
Lickly.
Public.
Publicly.
Here, just do public.
Public.
And get that K at the end. Public.
Public.
There you go. Do it again.
Public.
Again.
Public.
Okay. Publicly.
Publicly.
Okay, so for you, Sunny, it's always important to break it down and get piece by piece, because you have the tendency of dropping a lot of sounds in the middle. Yeah. So publicly.
Publicly. Publicly. Publicly.
Okay, so lick.
Lick.
Lickly.
Lick. Lickly. Publicly. Publicly.
There you go.
Publicly.
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 Okay, so then publicity. Publicity.
Publicly. Publicly.
Okay, you're dropping si. So publicity. Publicity. So I want you to do
publicity.
Yeah, make sure you're getting every syllable. Publicity.
Publicity.
And I want you to actually clap, okay? Publicity.
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 Publicity. Sorry.
Okay, ready?
Publicity.
Okay, so do this one. City. So it's like kind of saying city, like I live in the city.
City. City.
Good.
Harbor City.
There you go. Good.
Harbor City.
Okay, good. All right. How about clutter?
Carter.
Okay, you got to get that KL. We've talked about this one before. That coal, coal, coal.
Coal. Carter.
Cla, cla.
Carter.
Okay, so I'm hearing cudder, and I want cla.
Claw.
There you go.
Carter. Carter.
Clutter, and then get that T to be a D.
Carter.
Okay, so that's one. We're going to come back to that. Okay, strength.
Strength.
Good. Do that one again.
Strength. Strength.
And you're just getting that voiceless TH at the end. Strength.
Strength.
And that tongue has to become between. Strength.
Strength.
Good. Okay, then
I
you
did put my tongue there, but the airflow didn't come out.
Yeah, it just has to make sure that you get a little bit of airflow there so it has that sound, you know, that voiceless sound to it. Good.
Strength.
Good. Okay, so your question about the next one is these two, and you can't hear the difference because there is no difference. They're pronounced the exact same. Yep, there and there.
There and there.
Yep, exactly the same pronunciation. Good.
Oh, there and there. Okay.
Okay, so then pen, pants, and pan.
Pen, pens. Is it the Z sound here?
This is actually a voiceless S. Pants.
S. Pants.
Mm-hmm.
Pen.
Good. Good. So do it all three of them again.
Pen. Pens. Pen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the pen and pan are very close to each other. Just make sure pen and then pan is dropped a little bit. Pan.
Okay. Pen.
Mm-hmm. Good. And then grow, grew, grown. So these just have the different vowels. Grow, grew, grown.
Go, groom. Go. Sorry, what's the last one? Groom.
Okay, so grow and grown are going to have the same first part. The only difference is having that N at the end. So grow, grown.
Go, and go.
And then you just have to get the N at the end. Grown.
Go.
Okay. So Ryan had a question about pants. He says, is the T silent? Pants. Pants. So instead of pans, so if the T was completely gone, it would be pans versus pants. It's kind of has, the T kind of gets in position, but then it slides into the S. So you don't say pant, but you go pants. Pants. Okay, versus pans, pans. There's just a slightly different pronunciation there. Pants. So anything with that TS, we always get the T in position and then but we don't release it. We get into position and then we release into the S. So good question.
Pens.
All right, so then our words. Yeah, let's see. Okay, with you, we always did like or. Do this. Or.
Or.
Story.
Story.
Good.
Early.
Good. Ear.
Year.
Good. Ire.
Higher.
Good. And then run. Run.
One.
And then first.
First.
Good. So whenever you come across an R, kind of isolate the R, make sure you can get your mouth in the position of the R.
So you kind of break down, sorry Annie, you break down the vowel first and then blend it together?
Well, for the
For the
R's, those
O?
R words, I always want you to get that R vowel isolated
Oh, okay.
and then work in the rest of the word. Because for you, it's getting that R into the position, and then you can get
Yes.
the rest there. Okay?
Okay. Okay. Got it.
All right.
Thank you, Annie.
You're welcome, Sunny. Okay. Okay, Raquel, I did see your word list. And with my birthday yesterday and things like that, I didn't have time to get it fully into a webinar. We can go over it tomorrow, go over it next webinar, or I was just planning on emailing you about all of the word stress questions there, because I didn't need to look through and make sure, kind of double check the rules with some of the examples you gave, because a lot of those examples were exceptions to the rules, but I want to make sure that they're exceptions and not they don't have kind of a different rule attached to it. So I want to do a little bit more research on those to be able to give you the accurate answer. So Raquel, I'll be responding to your email directly to you. Okay? All right, perfect. Okay, and then Olabanga had a response to Muhammad Reza's question about kind of ESL. He says, Olabanga says, in addition to your explanations about kind of the retelling stories and things, says ESL students usually have problems with connections in their storytelling. For example, yesterday I went to the beach, I ate ice cream. Better way is yesterday I went to the beach. At the beach, I ate ice cream. And so he says the inability to link our ideas makes storytelling difficult for us. There are other problems too, but this is common. Okay, so yesterday I went to the beach, I ate ice cream. At the beach, I ate ice cream. Okay, so yeah, kind of linking those ideas in storytelling and kind of the way it's said and the way it's explained, it can be a little bit difficult in using the grammar and everything. So yeah, it kind of falls into that gray area for me, where it's not exactly my expertise, but more of an English language teacher is going to have those strategies for you. Okay. All right. Okay, I think that's it for today. Let's go ahead and jump into. Okay, so if anybody has, and I didn't quite go over that. So anybody has any other questions, go ahead and email me. We can work it into a webinar, or I can just respond to your email questions in the lessons. Each of the lessons, being able to talk, kind of ask questions in the comments section. That's helpful because then other students can see the question and the response. So that's a nice way to get your questions answered. And as we get this forum developed where you can connect with each other, you know, a lot of those, especially English language questions, will kind of have a subject or a section for some of those English language questions that you guys can help each other out on, because I know that you all have had vast experience with how you've learned English and the teachers that you've had. So I'm sure you can help each other out quite a bit with that. So I really want to connect you all. So we're just developing the platform right now to be able to do that. So thank you for your patience as we get that going here. And thank you all for coming today, and we'll look forward to our next webinar. Again, we'll have it in 2 weeks. You can register on your profile page, just like you did today. Register on the profile page, and we'll see you in the next webinar and on the Pronunciation Pro website. All right, thanks everyone.